Morning. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Hello, Melissa. Hello, Whimsical. Hello, Mommy Guide Inc. How are you? Uh, and Lala had asked me earlier if we know what we're getting today. I have no idea, so it will be a surprise. And thank you, Lala, for the reminder to put the Buy Me Coffee link in the description. So now I just did that and it should just show up. So hooray. But let's talk about. I had a very nice birthday. It was pretty cool. I got to see my folks for a nice birthday dinner. I had a lot of fun streaming with you guys and looking at all the cards. So I think we should definitely make that a yearly thing. And I appreciate you guys all showing up. That was awesome. And I appreciate the cards, but don't feel as though you need to be like obligated to send me anything or do anything at all, really. I just like when you drop by and say hello and we get to chat. And I love that you all say hello to each other all the time. And Lala actually just finished a really cool stream. She was working with T from Not Afraid of Color, and they did some really cool mixed media backgrounds, mostly ink and some pastes and things of that nature, and some using some ink to do some watercoloring too. So it was pretty cool. Definitely check it out if you did not see it. Similar to me, Lala is doing a whole Advent series, and there's probably a playlist, and you can catch up on anything you missed. She's been going about an hour for each stream, so and I mine have tended to be slightly shorter, but we'll see. It depends what we get. It's always a little what project are we doing kind of a thing. So let me bounce down to my desk here. And oh, we're looking a little dim. Let me just bring up the light a little on my camera here because we are definitely not professional YouTubers for sure. Although, I don't know. There we go. That's better. For better or worse, I have a lot of natural light, which can make sort of what color things are a bit complicated. Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know, I found over time streaming things is sometimes easier than doing them by yourself because you sort of get less into your head about stuff. Um, so before we get started, I just wanted to say big shout out to Lynn. Her first stamp set that she helped design with Cat Scrappiness is now live. I think I mentioned it yesterday, but I didn't really want to show it since I didn't think it was live on their site at this point. It makes this coffee mug. This is an A2, so it's big and it's basically a good size for either on an A2 or on a 5x7, which is neat. And Cat Scrappiness also did a earlier coffee release, so there's dies that have sentiments. There's several other stamp sets and stencils and stuff. So I pulled this because I was thinking, in honor of Lynn's first thing launching, if we get something that we can make into a coffee thing, we may do that. I have never used this word die, so it would be a good reason to do that. And I think the sizing on this, it's going to be bigger than the mug, but I think it would like fit it. I think they would be a similar size. Anyway, we'll see. This is the tag yesterday. Now that the paste has dried, you can actually see how shimmery the cookie dough lunar paste is. I still have to run this through probably an embossing folder to flatten this out a little bit, but that is how this came out. I really like it. I think it actually would be really good as like an insert into a mini album because you have all this space on the back and you could use this as like a journaling card. I feel like it has a really kind of fun like travel vibe to it. Anyway, that's what we got yesterday. And yes, I do. I think she made the right call with having more latte art. I think the ability to have a bunch of latte art is pretty cool. I couldn't for the life of me figure out what this thing is. If you go and watch Stamper Girl's video, it's coffee in the bottom of the cup, but yeah. And basically these floral pieces are designed to go on the cup. They look a little big, but essentially they will make like a pattern. If you want to see someone who's really good at watercolor do it, go watch Stamper Girl's video. Um, because she did an awesome job on it. But I do, and I'm hoping I get to use it. We'll see. And my cat says hello, and he may join in. Who knows? Um, But yeah, and I mean, I like the coffee cup as a just an idea too, in that uh, it's a very versatile thing because the not that this is about the stamp set, but because this is sort of there's not no real adornment on the coffee cup. You could make it anything you want. Like if you had ephemera you wanted to use, or it would be really easy to stencil on top of this too. And the cat's here. Hello, Lennox. Good morning. Do you want to see all the people on the internet? But anyway, let us see what today brings us. And we are to day 10, which I'm excited about because it's the same color as that really awesome floral ephemera that we've been playing with. This feels like it might be paper. It's kind of odd in that, like the lighter feeling wallets, I feel like are the ones that actually have the reusable supplies. And could you not? He's very interested in my cup, of course. And yes, you can say hello to the people. Do you want to say hello? No, I guess you don't. But you can. You're going to scurry off. Yesterday he was like I have a former office chair is the chair that I craft in. So he'll actually like sit on the back of the chair and just sort of chill out there, which is kind of cute. Yeah, you could do that. Like you did some neat ones with I forget who I think it's an MFT die that you have where basically it's more of a it's well let me grab something quick. It's kind of like these. Except if I can find the project I'm interested in. Oh, goodness. Ah, here we go. So I've made a bunch of these. These are lip balm holders, but let me see if I can find the end here to untie these. This is some really cute, not too shabby paper. And yes, I used craft. But these are lip balm holders, but you could also put a dollar bill here and roll it up. And this is really easy to make. I'm gonna actually batch make a bunch of these for stocking stuffers, I think, especially if I can find cat scrapping this paper. But anyway, I think I'll do that for my holiday thing. So that's also one you could use for a gift card or other things. That is Lennox. Spelled the same way as the heating company, Lennox. He is 12. Adopted him in June. He was bottle fed kitty basically because they had discovered a litter of kittens, and we the thought is that the mother cat probably got run over at some point. Lennox got adopted when he was maybe a week or two old, so he's always been very people focused, and he's sweet. He thinks he's still a 2 pound kitten and he's a 10 pound cat, but oh sure. I think some of these like more I think some of these like prettier ways to hold. Oh, I was wrong. It is more stamps. Wow. They are spoiling us in this. Except I'll have to figure out what it is. We're hoping it appears well let's use this because it'll be easier to see. So it appears to be a box. It's like a It's like a box that's exploding open. Oh, this is fun. So I do have this backwards. So it says, wow, surprise. I love this box exploding open. I don't think it works with our coffee themed, but I guess we will hold that for a different day. But that is really cool. Um, so it's a present. We have the present lid, we have the present base. We have a bunch of streamers and things that we can use. There's a I was wanting a stamp set like this one. This is just confetti, basically. But I like that a lot. That is a really cool stamp set. And something I haven't seen before. So I think we should definitely make a fun card out of that. We could do a tag. Could we do a tag? We might do it. We will do a tag. So I definitely want to color this. I think I want to use the surprise. Yeah, let's grab a tag die or something like that, and let's cut this out of some coloring paper and let's color it and think about it. Let me see what we're missing. Hello, Cordelia. Good morning. We got a very surprising stamp set. It does. Like it's hard to tell. This almost looks like it's a 3D thing, right? But let's see. I'm sure I have tag dies. I have at least one because this is a big tag die. Oh, oh. Do, 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 do. Found this one that I think would be, yeah, looks like about the right size. I think we'll just cut this twice. Maybe back it in craft or something like that. I have been liking the cream, but I think we may back. I think I'll cut this twice. We can back it in craft, and then we have. You just see how this lines up with the stamp set. I'm thinking we could do it horizontally, and then this is sort of the one that would insert next. So I think we can use this. This we had cut. This is from a prickly pear die set, but it's the one that we had cut out in a previous thing. I don't know where the rest of my prickly pear dies are. Hopefully, they're probably in the box with all the prickly pear stamps, but I don't know. Of course, things have a tendency to disappear. You could. I think it would be great for that, actually. I mean, the whole concept is very New Year's. Um, Someone had released, I think it was Cat Scrappiness last year, released a really cool like champagne bottle set, which I don't own, but if you did, that would be pretty cool for this as well. And I mangled my fancy paper. Well, that's sad. Yeah, when you do stuff like this to your paper, you're like, but this was important paper. It wasn't supposed to get screwed up. It was supposed to be not that, but it's fine. That and oh, we have this. This stuff is pretty cool. Maybe we'll do white and then this other sort of pearlescent red since like I think this color palette is pretty neat together. Although I don't think you would necessarily yeah, I don't think we'll probably definitely want to bring some red in here, but I think I was planning to do that anyway. Anywho, let us do some die cutting. And I think you could do this with really any tag die set that you own. I own a whole bunch, but like you don't necessarily need to, obviously. Whoops, sorry about that. Um, and if you're more of a digital kind of person, a lot of this stuff you could just do digitally as well. Whoops, do. And we'll get some. We will get a fun little accent piece as part of this. Luckily, I got a new free magic mat when I was buying things for myself for my birthday at scrapbook.com recently. So this one's a little getting a little mangled, but I think all it really needs is a good scrub and then a little heat gun action. Actually, it's not really even all that old. I mean, it's not that like messed up. It just has a lot of paper bits stuck to it. And we have an outline. Well, the outline fell off, but we do have the core tag. That's good. This one got a little mangled, but that's fine. I think that's all we need. My thought is we could. Oh, this is a little. We probably want to cut this off. This one got a little too short, but I think what we can do is just bring them together and then we can just trim this off. There we go. And now it's square on the bottom. So we have this, and I'm thinking what we will do. Oh, this works out nicely. So we'll just sort of glue this guy on here as sort of like a nice border. We could just ground it at the bottom so we have a similar border all around. And then we can just stamp something in here. I think I'm going to assemble this first, which isn't usually what I would do, but I think it'll be a lot easier when it's together to kind of know where we can stamp. Let me see. I'm probably missing all sorts of chat things. I most certainly am. Yep, I agree with you. I think we can make a really cool New Year's card, especially with all like the sparkly paste and stuff we have now. So I think you could like or and faux glitters and whatnot. I think we have lots of things. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, that's good to know, Melissa. I'll just use a heat tool on it then. Hello, welcome. Good to see you this morning, Empty Nest Stamper. And as per usual, I'm trying to make sure that the nice sides of the paper are up, which is another sort of pro of gluing this together first. There we go. So we have the nice pearlescent on the back, and then this is going to be on the front. And we just need to glue this guy down. I do like that this tag set gives us these frames because, like, I've used these frames a lot. Oops. I think the way we're approaching this, we can actually sort of ground this tag here and then, whoops. try and get down everything. Although, as I was saying to Lala this morning when she was working on mixed media, like it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, people are going to like it regardless. That is looking pretty cool. Let me grab my Misty. I feel like what we could do is stamp the confetti in colors, but I think I want to do, let me see how this box. Yeah, I think I want to do like the box like this kind of sideways. And then I think we'll color the box and then you use like the streamers and stuff and just sort of stamp those if I can find a stamping block. I'm sure I can because I found one the other day. So I think what do I need? I need some memento, which is right here. And I need to find a block, which I think I have one right here somewhere. Here we go. And I think then we'll be okay. Then we will have all the things that we need to continue. Other than Misty, which is behind me. And I'm usually not a proponent of stamping on like finished products, but I think would be really hard to line up if you didn't know where this frame actually was. But we'll see if this was a good idea or not. Um, with things like this, I try to like ground them into the corner of the Misty if possible, because then it becomes a lot easier to line up. I think I'm going to grab my surprise box. There we go. Just sort of put that here, and then there's a lot of room for. I think we could put a sentiment somewhere. Maybe we could do the sentiment sort of sideways here. Actually, we could probably do that now. Um, do like a surprise, like right like this, except not upside down. Oh, that was correct. Okay, I'm gonna just sort of align this with my magnet and sort of the tag itself. Well, actually, that's not aligned with the tag itself. So, like, let's do that. So it's sort of, I'm trying to align it with the edge of the tag and the frame, and I think the rest of this should be okay. I'm just going to push this all the way into the corner and make sure my foam's in the corner, because that was something I would screw up a lot, like when I was new, is if the foam's not grounded, like if everything's not pushed into the corner, it becomes a lot harder to figure it out later. I do like that these photopolymer stamps from Craft Stash, they don't seem to stick to the paper initially as much as some of the other ones. I mean, probably the downside to that is like we may need to ink this a couple times. I find that like Memento, you kind of get stuck doing that anyway. So I mean, I don't think that's necessarily issue with these particular stamps. I think it's just Memento sometimes doesn't stamp all that great. Although now this is perfect the first time, so I do want to re-ink the sentiment. We can always go back in with another ink on the sentiment too. Um, I think one of the things with I find with Memento is it doesn't necessarily always. Oh, actually, this is looking nice, but it usually takes like 2 to 3 inkings if I want it to be really black. Like from the standpoint of coloring, I actually like it if it's a little bit lighter because then you. Sorry, I'm totally off camera, and this is hard to see at the moment, but give me one memento and we can adjust our lighting a little bit because this looks good. Let that dry. We just clean off my sample a little bit and then we'll see if we can't make the camera a little bit more happy with coloring of things. It's sort of a feature that it wants to try and adjust itself, but sometimes that feature is not super helpful. That's like right now, because it's oh, this is all right. This is actually pretty viewable. Let me see what I am missing. Oh, Alyssa, welcome in. How are you? Well, I was telling you in your chat, like, if you mess up the alignment of your matting, like, Some people have said to me that they like that because it sort of gives you, I don't know, more of a visual movement in the whatever you're doing. Yep, I was. You're right. The are you doing it on screen is always kind of a problem. I have this teal that I think is what I use for the coffee cup that I may use. I'm thinking the teal will be. I may use the teal on the box, but I definitely want like a red. I don't know if I have a decent red. This magenta blend is saying it. Let's see what color this really is, because I don't necessarily trust it. So is this a red? That's a pretty red. That's the mid, and then this is the dark. So I think that would work. That would. These are definitely like Christmassy reds. So anywho, I think I'm going to start with the middle one. Well, yeah, I think I'm going to try and get in here very delicately with our mid, because this is sort of part of the packaging. So I think I'm going to just color the edge with the mid tone and then come back in with the lighter one. And I can probably zoom in for you a little bit so it's easier to see what I'm doing. Un momento. Because we can just, there we go. Because we can zoom in. I just need to pay attention to what if I'm on off camera or not. But here we go. This will be a lot easier to see. And then I'm just going in with the light color to kind of finish off the ribbon. Um, and I don't know if there's logic of if you're doing something like this, if you would go after the ribbon or the box first. And the thing I didn't know when I started coloring is like if it's easier to move the actual piece around, like if you find it easier to sort of do brush strokes this way, you can do that. And I'm just sort of the thing I like about these tri blends is it's really easy to quick color. The one thing I don't like about these tri blends, and you can kind of see it here, is sometimes there's a lot of variation between the colors. So, like on this piece of ribbon, you can kind of see that I need something to gesture with. Where's my pen? Here we go. I mean, so like you can see that this sort of lighter tone and the mid tone aren't exactly as separate as you like. So what you can do is take your lighter color on your darker color and just pick up a little bit of the ink off the tip, and then you can just bring that in, and then you can make it a little more blendy or not. Again, it kind of depends on you and what you like. If you want it to be more distinct, you can certainly leave it that way as well. This ribbon, I think I will leave more just dark. And then I think all we really need to do is color the midsection. There's a blue blend where there we go, a little more centered. Yeah, that works too. Like you can absolutely do that as well. I think I'm just here kind of making the center a little bit lighter. The only downside to these markers in my mind is like if you grab the wrong end and you start coloring dark where you meant to do light, it can be a little bit of a moment. similar to like what T was talking about with her husband having lots of expletives in public. I would probably have expletives in public if I miscolored something I had been working on. And as you know, I tend to do pretty minimal coloring. Well, not minimal, but like I tend to color quickly just because I don't think I have the patience to be one of those people who, spent someone was telling me they spent like 3 hours coloring, and I'm like, wow, I don't know that I would do that. And then I think I'm going to use the two darker shades for the base of the box, except that's the lighter shade. If you color with a lighter shade first, it's less of a problem, obviously. But I'm going to see if I can't make a little bit of differentiation here just to make it a little darker. I'm probably going to come in and like darken the edges of these a little bit too. Although, I mean, depending on the box you're using, those might actually just not be colored. But yeah, like here I'm going to do a second layer with this mid-tone, and you can see that that makes it pretty nice. The other thing with these is like you may want to come back in like for this one it's looking a bit light in the middle. It's hard to tell. I mean, sort of like watercolors, alcohol inks tend to dry lighter than they look when they're wet. So sometimes that's a little bit challenging. Sorry about that. We're a little off camera. You can see as this is sort of coming together. Now I'm going to flip this so that I can more easily color these sides. And it's just because I'm right-handed, it works better for me. And there's a cat. Sir. Shoo, please. You can say anywhere you want as long as it's not, well, I guess that kind of works. And that thing I told you he just is doing it right now. So I'm going to come in with my darker color. Yeah. I don't know. There you can actually see him. He's actually behind me. He is standing on my shoulder right now. Because cat things. Could you not stand on my and he just sneezed on me. Thanks, my dude. There we go. Alcohol markers are something that I enjoy, but am still learning about. So, you know, anytime I like to be able to practice. So that something like this is good for that in my mind because, like, it's still the focal point. But I mean, like, if it's a tag, I don't think people are going to be quite as. I mean, they're probably not going to pay quite as much attention as if, um, you know, sir, perhaps. Everybody's a critic, especially your pets. Oops, that was the going in with the dark color when I didn't quite mean to, but I'm just gonna blend it out, and it'll probably work out fine. I'm going to go back, just do the edge here. There we are. There we go. Now we have our thing mostly colored, and I think what we can find which swirlies we like. Can move the cat off our desk again because, you know, what I think we'll do is grab these guys. I feel like we can just sort of freehand stamp these And I'm thinking we could bring in some of like since it's red on the back, I feel like we could bring in sort of a couple little pops of red. And ideally what I'd like, we could either do it in the very red, or we could do it in more of a cranberry red. Assuming I can find the more of a cranberry red. If not, we ooh, well, this would be fun. This pink, I think, would actually be kind of fun because it would be. This is making it a little more birthday than Christmas, but I don't hate that. I'm just gonna go and do that. Do a couple little swoopties. I'm just gonna sort of turn my hand so I'm not getting this too much on the craft piece here. There we sort of just overstamped it a little bit, and maybe one more. There we go. I think that's kind of a fun little birthday vibe. Sorry about that. I am little bit off camera. There we go. Now you can kind of see how this came together. Now you could definitely punch this and put a ribbon on it if you want to use it as a tag. You could also use it as a card element. So this is an A2, so this is a little smaller than an A2. So like if you want to, for instance, like you could mount this and then pop it up, and then you'd have room here for more of a sentiment if you wanted to make it into like a full-on birthday card. So I don't know. It's a nice size for that kind of thing. Oops, and we have our little bits. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Oh, hey, Belle, how are you? I missed you when I was coloring things. It's funny, Belle is one of my coloring friends, so it's sort of like I feel like, whoa, sorry about that. I inadvertently grabbed something. Do 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 do. 'Cause we're definitely semi-professional. There we go. Now we are back. Now our overlay is back where it's supposed to be. But yeah, no, I always sort of joke with my coloring friends because I like coloring, but I typically sometimes will do other things on cards that aren't like totally coloring. So we can just zoom out so we can see more of our desk. Just get ourselves back aligned so you can kind of get a sense of how this would look. And oh, our camera's being a little strange, huh? Let me let me check that quick. That's interesting. Let me see if I can't just reset my desk camera since it seems to have frozen a little bit. Not that we're doing a whole bunch. Oh, I missed what you were saying. Oh, cool. Let me see if I can just reset my desk camera here quickly. There we go. Sometimes it has a moment. There we go. That's better. And we are back. Or I should say the desk camera is back. Yeah, here we are. But this was today's project. I'm still leaving this coffee stamp set out. I'm hoping we have potentially have a nice little something. The other neat thing about like this left like it is currently is if you have like any piece of ephemera, let me see if I have something that's a good example. Oh, I have these little trees. Okay, so like the way this is currently set up, like you could put any kind of something in here if you want to make this like specific to an individual or a holiday or something like that. So, I mean, I like these kind of stamps for that as well because you could just sort of put your favorite thing, your favorite whatever package you wanted to give out as well. We all need coffee. Yes, definitely. I had 2 cups of coffee watching Lala's stream this morning, so I am well caffeinated, but it is always a good idea. I agree. So both this and the stag, I'm impressed with in that they're pretty versatile. Like it's not just the stag I think definitely has a winter fall vibe, but I mean like these are not stamp sets that are throwaway and they're big. Like last year in the Crafter's Companion Advent calendar, we were getting like 2x2 stamp sets, and this is something. It's it's some UK size. I probably don't know what it is. It's almost four. It's a little. It's probably 4 by. It's close to 4 by 6. So I mean, it's a pretty like this is like if I were to evaluate this, I mean these stamp sets are usually somewhere in the $15 to $20 price point. So I think from a is it a good thing for is it a good value for money? I think this year's advent calendar is really knocking it out of the park. And if you don't like the idea of like these confetti overstamping here on the present, you could certainly mask off the present before confettiing. Yes, I'm a big fan of it. Although I've really liked the stuff Crafty Al's been doing because she's been using 3 calendars and then mixing and matching. But anyway, I think that is where I will leave you guys today. Here is today's project. And I still have a bunch of other projects to photograph and post, but should be posting all the projects up to today so that Ann Lennox is here to say, have a lovely rest of your day. And I hope you guys do well. And I will talk to you. I'll be live at my usual 6 o'clock time. I think I know what project we're doing, but we will figure it out. It's sort of a last minute make, but it's a last minute make you could probably customize to almost any stuff that you have on hand. And I'll say it will be capable of holding a gift card or cards if you want it to, or maybe not. So we will take a look at that tonight. And great seeing you, Lala. Hope you have a great rest of your day, everybody here as well.